Here we go with another edition of SmallTalk, sponsored by Echo Transport. We give you results, not excuses. I'm delighted to be joined by someone who's a lot taller than me. You recognise him, Dave Syers. So first of all, Dave, thanks for coming. So obviously, we know that you play for the Bantams. So when you, what was it like turning professional after you sort of played non-league? And what made you want to go become a professional?
It was all a bit strange, really. I didn't in this, not that I didn't want to, but I wasn't planning to. I'd given up on that actually a good few years before. I was just enjoying playing well in non-league. I was finishing university at University of Leeds, and had a job ready at PricewaterhouseCoopers to start my training accountancy. So it just coincided timing-wise that I had a really good season at Farsley Celtic. I had a few clubs watching me, sort of asked me to play for their reserves and stuff. And then Farsley folded in February. So because it was the end of my university, I didn't want to travel. I then joined Harriet Town for the last 10 games of the season. Again, played really well with those who were scoring goals. And into the summer, just had a few clubs contact to see if I wanted to go on trial. So from my point of view, it was perfect timing. I just finished university, I had a job ready in September. I'd agreed to sign for guys if I didn't get a pro contract in the summer. And got the chance to go and do some pre-seasons with full-time clubs, and of the clubs that were interested, Bradford were one of the closest and two the biggest. So it was a bit of a no-brainer to say, yeah, I'll go and have a pre-season.
That's brilliant. How did you move to Bradford City come about then?
So I think because when I was when I was still playing at Farsley and Harrogate, Stuart McCall was the manager at that point. I knew my name was being mentioned, but since Stuart left, and Peter Taylor came in, and thankfully within the backroom staff my name was still there. So he invited me in on trial, and hit my ankle down at Cantley Island in the pre-season tour of Essex. And Peter Taylor said, "I'll keep you on." But it got to the start of the season, and I still wasn't signed. Actually, guys had started their season as well. Bradford played away at Shrewsbury, which wasn't in the squad or anything like that. And I knew that Peter was still hoping maybe there was someone else he could sign, but considering what I signed for £300 a week, there wasn't many I think he was going to be able to find at League 2 level who were going to be playing for that. So it was the Monday night after the lost at Shrewsbury, first Open League game, where Peter Taylor rang and said, will you sign non-contract to play in the cup against Notts Forest the next day? And I was like, okay, I can't. It was nothing to lose situation, and either way I'm getting the chance to put on the kit and go out there even if it was for a match. And obviously it just worked out that Jim Hansen came on at half time, I equalised to bring us level, and then he scored an extra time for us to beat them. And Peter Taylor didn't have a choice, and he had to kind of offer me a contract and went from there.
Yeah, because I remember, because I remember you being at some of the Florida area was and all that.
Yeah, no, that was such a strange couple of days to literally go from being without a club, not knowing what's going on, to suddenly 2 days later scoring against a team that's favourites for the championship. It was a great memory.
Your athleticism and your eye for goal were two of your biggest strengths. Did you try to make sure you that were fitter than most of the people in the squad to you? Well, you seem to be really up there.
Yeah, I think it was more of just a byproduct of the life I was leading. By being at university and drinking a lot of alcohol at the time, but because I was playing for university on a Wednesday, train on a Monday, I'd then go and train. Some Mondays I'd train at uni, I'd then go train when I was at Ossett. Straight after at Ossett, play at Wednesday, might play on a Tuesday night. I'd then play for uni on a Wednesday, train on Thursday, play on a Saturday. So I was always playing. And just luckily, it was one of my big skills. My big strengths growing up was always that I used to do a lot of cross country. That was always my kind of stamina. I was never the quickest over sort of 20 yards, but I was able to keep going. So tonight works in my favour. And Peter Taylor was a big one. He was one that said, sometimes when you're playing, when you're seeing the players around you, especially at professional level, you're constantly worried about what don't I do well, what do I need to work on. But he said sometimes it's about what your strengths are as well, and making sure that are they what set you apart. So for me, I knew that technically I wasn't the most gifted player. I was never going to. I could work on that every day, and I still would only be within the pack. But the things that did set me apart to play that other people didn't have were that kind of second ball ability, that ability to know where the balls are landing in the box, to win the second balls in the middle of the park, and to get them down all day. So it was important. That was one thing he instilled to understand what we could have right, be better than people concentrate on those.
Yeah, and what would you say your favourite memory of Bradford City was? Your favourite match or what? Favourite moment?
I mean, I think you'd have to go far to get past, like I say, that first game, the Notts Forest game, just because it was just so surreal. Like, my brother had come with some mates to watch, and they went to put a bet on me to score. Actually, I wasn't even in the programme. The betting guys were like, "We don't know who he is." So they gave me like the highest odds that were on the list, and then to be on the bench. And there was only about 5,000-6,000 there, which was Bradford City wasn't that many, but I'd been going from playing from 300-400. So, and then again to be against Notts Forest, I can still remember Junior Lewis running out at half time to say you're going on.
Yeah.
Actually, that was the year where the special FA Cup kit and everything, to go on, and then I still remember scoring and didn't even understand what had happened almost. It was too big. So no, that was a great memory.
And obviously you said you got with Peter Taylor. With all the Jones around fans or other managers you go, and to get on back with Peter Taylor, what was your relationship like with different managers?
It was probably Peter Taylor because he's the one who gave him that first contract, professional football. And again, the time I'd seen him before that was when he was managing England. He gave David Beckham the England captaincy and something like that. He's having to manage me down. It seemed a bit crazy for me. So obviously got on well with Peter, but it just we didn't quite work out with all the hype for the start of the season and what everyone was expecting. Just never quite managed to get us there, and obviously he'd left, and then Peter Johnson came in, obviously big Bradford favourite. But the problem is one of the first things he did was drop me because he didn't know me. And we had Worthy and Flinney who played under him at Oxford before, and she was a manager coming in trying to get an initial boost. He wants to play the players he knows, but thankfully I only took a couple of games before I got back on the pitch under him and did well, and was then back starting. So no, I got on really well with Peter Jackson. It was a bit just frustrating that the Leeds game this season after, when we played out Ellen Road, it was all going so well. We were 2-1 up. I went through 1-on-1 with Monaghan, and unfortunately saved it, and he's collided with me, and I was out for 3.5 months with my knee. And that then coincided with the higher ups pulling my new and agreed contract. So obviously I went from that, and then did play for 3.5 months. Peter got let go in that time, and then Phil Parkinson came in. And again, Phil was obviously doing unbelievable things here. I've seen him quite recently, actually. But he was caught between a rock and a hard place because he'd come in, we'd already sort of spent the budget, he had to try and turn things around, and then he had me coming back fit at Christmas with this whole issue with no contract, the contract being taken away from me. So he had to then try and, it was just a bit of a ridiculous situation where we were trying to get me to sign a new contract. We wouldn't start until July. Yeah. So I had said, well, if you're not offering me an improved contract, why am I signing it now? But it wasn't his fault. Again, it was because there was no money. He was trying to do what he had to do. So it was a bit awkward in that situation, because then he dropped me onto the bench saying that he thought the contract was playing my mind. But it's just that first season was really tough for him, and he did the job. He managed to scrimp and find some role players to come in and kept us up, and obviously did unbelievable things from then on. But yeah, unfortunately, it kind of meant my position at the club was sort of soured a bit with all that, which obviously led to me then leaving in the summer. Yeah,
and obviously I understand that he scored 12 goals. Obviously just touched on one of them, but can you perhaps mention some of the other maybe favourite ones? Maybe one at Villa Pred or away?
Well, it's most. I mean, I can't tell you the feeling of scoring in front of 15,000 people here, the noise. Obviously, I'd say the first goal was a big one. Then the following weekend we played Stevenage, and it's not gone away. And then that was my first league goal. So I still remember was only about 2 yards out, which is normal for my goals. But then sort of in with the away fans, that was a great feeling. Kind of, because the first goal, you never know whether it was just one of those random things that happened to score straight away again. When we think actually we can't do this. Yeah. But I mean, yeah, it was most of the goals here. I think we volley against Oxford, we beat them 5-0. There was a couple of sendings off. It was a good game, and so I scored a nice volley. I think that was our fourth. The place was bouncing then. It was a really good feeling. Hereford at home scored a long, probably one of the only ones where I scored from outside the box. So it was a nice long ranger. So that was a good one. I'd say the feeling of scoring here was unlike any other, just because of the atmosphere on the ground.
Yeah, I know. Would you say your inspiration, your idol, was the football as a kid to make you want to be the footballer you made?
Not so much the footballer I want to be, I suppose, but it was. My parents went. They had a trip to Italy, and they came back and brought me and my brother a Fiorentina kit, all purple kit, with blue Diodora Baggio boots. So, as sort of first playing football in the garden, we were just both out there in our kits. One of us would be Toldo in net, the other one would be Batistone as the striker. So, and that was the era of Italian IT, the TV Channel 4. So we used to watch a load of Italian football. We absolutely loved it. And that was probably the first kind of players that into our lives. And I'm a Sunderland fan, so it was probably then looking at Bradford City, some great players playing for Sunderland then. But so probably as a player myself, and the way I play and the people I look up to on that basis, I'm probably talking Frank Lampard, probably the one I think I'd say mould myself on, but appreciate the effect he had on games and what he did. So he's the one I always lean towards when it's the Lampard Scholes Gerrard debate, but that is just because that's the kind of second field I aim to be.
Yeah, and we've obviously mentioned Bradford. You've played for a few other clubs. Have you got any other memories that you can remember, not for saying, that you want to express?
Yeah, the year after when I went to Donny, obviously, because that was a great year for City as well. That was City's year, the cup final, the playoff final.
Yeah.
But obviously for me, that was superb as well, because that was where we won League One in dramatic fashion away at Brentford, at Griffin Park, at the end of the season, where I think we were first going into the game, Bournemouth was second, Brentford third, all within a couple of points of each other. So we knew we just needed a draw to go up. Last minute, we give a 0-0. Last minute, we give a penalty away. You think, oh no, it's all over. After spending all year basically in the automatics, we're going to drop into the playoffs. And then Marcelo Trotter took the ball as on loan for Fulham, took the ball off the captain who was their penalty taker, hit the bar, bounced back out. Almighty goalmouth scramble, we've cleared it to the halfway line. Billy Payne's praying on the halfway line, straight to him, we run through, and then he taps it across for James Cockbridge to score, and suddenly we've gone from being first to second to third back to first, and that was unbelievable, dramatic moment. And then obviously getting promoted to Scunthorpe, so we still hold the world record for the longest unbeaten run from a new manager when Russ Wilcox took over. So I mean that's any footballer will tell you, when you're not losing, football's a great place to be. You feel like you're hardly working, you feel like you're hardly in when you are in, you're enjoying yourself and you're picking points all the time. So I had a couple of great experiences post Bradford, but yeah, Bradford will always be the first club, and with the ground and with the fan base and with the size of the club, it's without doubt the biggest of the lot.
Yeah, so obviously some fans know what you're doing now. Talk to us around it. How are you doing and what you're doing now?
Well, I've been very boring. I'm a chartered accountant, so it was probably a bit of a blessing in disguise when I did my knee the second time, because it made me. I ended up coming out of full-time football at 29, which gave me the time to. Well, I could still pick the wage playing non-league, so I signed at Darlington. But I started my accounting training then, so I was qualified by 2020. Yep. So now I own a company based in Horsforth, so not too far away. With a couple of other owners. And yeah, it's just enjoying being a chartered accountant. Still play a bit of vets football, so it's nice. The last couple of years being the oldest and the slowest, playing non-league still at Farsley, to now go to being the one they rely on to be the quickest and the fittest is a bit of a change, but it's nice just to keep dipping in and keep feeling that bit of love for football and that being around lads in the change room. Just it's a nice feeling.
That's brilliant. And obviously we touched on it before we started this interview, but do you still attend games? Obviously you're going to be attending one night. You're saying you're going to be
well, I did the. I've done a bit of the hospitality at a few of the grounds, but it was nice to come back here last season for the Doncaster match. Although the match wasn't anything to write home about, but both teams nearly ended the season really strong. So yeah, I'll be back across for Harrogate this year, and I try as much as I can. Obviously, Farsley, a big club for me, but it's very hard to watch them at home these days. They don't have a ground or a pitch. So it's I try and get to as many matches as the missus allows, just to keep watching.
Before we have a bit of fun, what advice would you give to a younger self?
Probably to make sure you keep enjoying yourself. I mean, football, the highs are amazing, the lows, you feel like it's the end of the world. So always try and make sure you keep enjoying it. Don't lose sight of it's the game that we all love.
Yeah, do you ever used to watch Soccer AM when it was on?
I did.
So we're going to have a bit of fun before. Excuse me about the noise. So, obviously, can you tell me your full name? Have you got a middle name?
I do, name? Yeah. So David Thomas Syers.
Yeah. Have you got a nickname?
Based back in non-league, it was Posh Boy, Sir, and then Lord. Finish off. I kept getting promoted, so I was Lord Dave Syers in the end.
Yeah. How old are you going to be this year? How old are you now?
7 this month.
Yeah. Obviously, remind people what position you played in.
Centre midfield.
Yeah. Where are you from?
Leeds. Sorry.
Once again, football and idol.
I'll go for Frank Lampard.
Yeah. If you weren't a footballer, what do you think you would have been?
You're going to be a chartered accountant.
Yeah. Best friend in football?
Let's stick to Bradford. I still speak to Jimmy Hansen quite a bit.
Oh yeah, he's brilliant.
He's great, man.
Best player played with?
Let's keep it Bradford then. I think looking at what they've done, you've probably got Naki Wells, obviously done great things. Probably Kyle Reid, a phenomenal player when he came in. And probably Tommy Doherty, who I know Bradford didn't see probably the best of him for long enough with the injuries, but my God, what.
And the best player you played against then?
I tend to go with Dele Alli. When he was at MK Dons, he was frightened. He was going to big and better things.
Yeah, Messi or Ronaldo?
Ronaldo.
Your favourite colour?
Balti chicken.
Yeah, I like a balti. Quite like them all. You see, you disconnect with yourself?
I do, but when you've got kids, it's not they're not normally the most entertaining, but I'll go for a nice steak.
Yeah, and do you ever go your karaoke song? If you had to do one, what would you do?
Historically, it was probably Williams Angels.
Are you going to give us a quick line of it?
You can have. I'm loving angels instead.
That's brilliant. So, last thing, is there anything you want to promote? Anything you want to thank or promote?
No. I just want to, hope to see this and see Bradford doing well. And City been finally getting out of League Two. Hopefully, we can all be celebrating the end of the season.
Yeah. So thanks for coming, buddy.
No problem. It's great to see you.